I'm glad I came on this podcast because I want to point out something that has bothered me about society, which is that men are underpaid in modeling.
In modeling.
It's the one industry I chose where men are actually underpaid.
Yeah. Welcome to the Business of Beauty podcast, where we talk money with people who work in beauty-based industries. Today, I'm joined by Mario Adrian, longtime friend, comedian, model, actor, YouTube star, American Idol contestant, OnlyFans boy.
Let's go! Wow, I do everything. I love the intro. Thank you.
Of course,
Thanks
he does
for
it all.
hyping me up. You like my PR right now.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You gotta pay for that.
He's like YouTube star. You know?
Yeah, YouTube sensation.
Stand-up comedian. Exactly. I love that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to be honest. We just talked for almost 10 minutes without clicking record, but you know what? It's a new podcast, and so freaking excited that you're coming to one of the first episodes. So thanks for being here. Okay, so I do want to talk about the model apartment thing because we just finished talking about that.
Yeah.
We met in Singapore.
Yeah. Both modeling at the time.
Modeling, yes.
Same agency.
Yeah.
At a model apartment. I remember like it was yesterday. It was at the pool. And I was like the new boy in school. You know what I mean? I just got to the apartment. And it's like in a TV show when you meet all the characters, you know? And then, I met some friends. And then it was you with your friend. What's the name?
Miriam.
Miriam, yes. So yeah, we get to know each other at the pool of a model apartment.
Yes.
Yeah. And
model apartments, for those who don't know, are just really crappy housing. Agencies put 8 girls or boys in a 2-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom and
charge you a lot.
Charge you a ton
People
of money.
think it's free. People like in the beginning, people thought, okay, they put you up in a model apartment, meaning you get free accommodation, but they charge you like, I don't know how much it was, but in New York, like we were just talking about this, in New York, I was at a model apartment in Brooklyn with like 7 guys sharing 1 bathroom, and they charged each of the models, I think it was $1,500. Meaning they made a total of like $9,500 for a place that could not be any more than like $4,000 a month. You know what I mean?
How many bedrooms?
I think we had, there was 2 bedrooms and there's 1 bunk bed, and then they put a mattress on the floor. So 3 people in each bedroom. And then there was 1 room, which is like a Harry Potter closet, which was when the stairwell goes up, it's like in the corner. And just to paint the picture, I was in this apartment and there was a bed for me, like it was a sofa, and I have to pull it out in order to sleep. And when I pulled out the sofa bed, I could not do a push-up in my room. Just to give you an idea of how small it was. It's pretty much like a storage, like a walk-in closet type of deal.
Wow.
Yeah, and I paid $1,500 for it.
Yeah, ridiculous. It's like you may as well get your own place. People are probably like, why don't you get your own apartment? But they pay for it up front. So it's like enticing for people. Yeah,
and the commitment of like, if you sign your own lease, you have a lot of like it's a commitment, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a model, you never know if it works, right? You go to New York City, you might not work. So you have to reevaluate if you want to stay there after 2 months. Yeah. So there's freedom in the model apartment. You just bounce around. There's not a lot of commitments, but also not a lot of glamour.
Yeah,
you know?
Not at all.
No.
Too many people's surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, we met when you were modeling. Yeah. But you don't do that at all anymore?
So here's the thing. I like modeling a lot. I am so grateful because it made me travel the world. I met you modeling, you know, made some great friends. I just felt like creatively I was missing an element like of self-expression, because I feel modeling, all you can do is you can put on your blue steel look, you know, and that's all you can do really. And I felt like with YouTube, stand-up comedy, what I'm doing now, it's just like I feel so much more passionate about it. And also, I will be honest, with modeling, there's a lot of things that have kind of thrown me off when it comes to power dynamics in modeling, right? Very powerful photographers are in control of your career, right? They can decide what you are going to do with your career, and they use that power, right? And I've had a lot of experience with like sexual assault, sexual harassment as a model, which at some point I was like, you know what? I want to do something where I'm in control with social media, with stand-up comedy, without these gatekeepers. And yeah, I never look back, you know? So I still do modeling jobs if I get a job. I've done like a hair campaign the other day, but I won't go to New York or Milan Fashion Week anymore. starve myself to fit into tiny designer jackets and stay in a model apartment with 8 dudes sharing a bathroom, you know?
And it can't be financially, it can't make financial sense for you when you have your YouTube channel, which must be making the majority of your money.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, running around doing Fashion Week for $200 a show or whatever is ridiculous.
And that's the thing, always people think like a fashion show, right? Even if you make some money, the amount of time it takes to book one job, because you have to go to like 15 castings to get rejected in order for one person to say yes to you. Yeah. So in reality, if you break it down to an hourly wage, I think it's really, I mean, in some cases, maybe below minimum wage, depending on how many, you know, how much stuff you do, but yeah.
Yeah, for Fashion Week.
Yeah, for Fashion Week specifically.
So how about actual modeling jobs, you know, campaigns, commercials, whatever else, the high paying ones? I know what female models typically make.
Yeah.
What do male models make? And do you notice a difference when you're on set and how much females make versus males?
Yeah. And I'm glad I came on this podcast because I want to point out something that has bothered me about society, which is that men are underpaid in modeling.
In modeling.
It's the one industry I chose where men are actually underpaid.
Yeah.
I think women make, I've been to one job specifically I remember. It was an underwear campaign I did. And the girl, I mean, mind you, she had to, her call time was like an hour and a half earlier because she had to get makeup and all this stuff. The job, I think paid like, I was paid like $3,000. I think she was paid like, what I heard was like over $5,000. So like almost twice as much for the same job.
Were you know? So what was the job, or what category, I guess?
It was an underwear campaign.
Oh yeah, underwear.
So it was like underwear, and it was actually really bizarre because like I was in underwear and she had to like, it was kind of sensual, you know? So she had to like kind of like touch me, and then it cut back from like shots of underwear, and like we walk, and it was a really eclectic commercial.
So you're both the stars. You're both in every
exactly.
shot. Like,
yeah. There's no, exactly. She was not like, I was not just a side chick. You know what I mean? I was the real deal.
You were the main chick.
I was the main chick. I was the main chick, and arguably she was the side chick. I don't know. Like I think I had more screen time than her. Nonetheless, I was paid half. So that's a specific example where I know. I never, when I went on jobs, I didn't go around asking all the girls, hey, how much you making today, you know?
Yeah, that's part of the reason I want to do this podcast is because nobody talks about it.
Yeah,
you know?
So I would say generally what I would make for like an e-commerce job, like I did Bloomingdale's and all this stuff in New York, maybe like 1,000 per day, depending on what. That's a better e-com job.
Really?
Yeah, and
because for women, I feel like it starts at 1,800.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah,
that's good for you.
It's like especially e-com.
Yeah,
I think you don't work for less than 1,800.
Well,
which is crazy.
Good for you guys. I mean, listen, I was very happy being paid $800 when I first started for doing 8 hours of e-commerce. There's a wage gap. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
let's
very
talk about
interesting. Okay, so you mentioned you did the underwear campaign. I need to ask this because I just saw one of your videos talking about a bulge enhancer.
Yeah.
Is that always... Okay, first of all, tell us what is a bulge enhancer, and then is that always used on set when it's like underwear or swimwear or whatever, something like that?
I mean, it depends on the bulge, right? So
does
like
it? Or
some
does
people
everybody
don't need it. No. So here's the thing. There is because they're doing these underwear campaigns, and if you want to sell underwear, sex sells, right? You want to fill out the package a little bit. But a lot of these traditional underwear like shoots, they don't want like a very aggressive. They don't want like I don't think they don't want it's called VPL, like a visible line where it's, where you can see the outline.
The actual shape. Yeah.
Exactly. They don't want that. So what they have is they have a little cup that you put in there. So it creates like a bulge without being too explicit.
So it's partially to keep it like PG.
Honestly, it's like in between. It's like to to grow the bulge, but then also to like disarm the bulge a little bit, know? Right. So like it so it's like keeping it all. It's like the perfect balance.
Yeah.
It's like zenning out the bulge.
And of course, women use, you said push-up bras, but also like little chicken cutlets. We wear like extensions. That's what they call like just, stuffing your bra or whatever.
Okay, cool.
And then also, I don't know if you've ever seen a booty pad, but I've used booty pads in jobs, which they're underwear, but with more bum so that you like fill out the jeans or whatever, usually for denim.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we all have something.
No, you live, you learn. I didn't know that. Yeah. And I always say this. It's like for men, people are like, oh, this is so weird. People it's frowned upon, But women wearing push-up bras, they've been doing it for decades.
Yep.
Nobody's complaining. Again, a double standard in our society that I would like to point out on the Business of Beauty podcast.
Oh my gosh, too funny. Okay, so did you wear a bulge enhancer for your American Idol audition?
A little bit, you know, I actually put a sock in there.
Did you actually?
I did, but like I did in a way where, okay, so when I did the audition for American Idol, it was in a Speedo, and I put a sock in there, and I first had the sock hanging out because I thought it was funny, but then they were like, no, so then I
pushing it a bit.
They thought it was too much focus on that area, so then I just had a sock in there the whole time.
Wow.
And then people saw it and they were like, and I was like, it's all me, you know. So now I'm coming clean. This is the moment where I'm coming clean. I'm
the truth comes
confessing
out.
to the world that it's all been a lie. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not a singer. Or are you?
Excuse me.
Why did you go on American Idol? How did that thought come into your brain? Was it like a business focused thing where you're like, this might improve my career, give me some notoriety? What was your thought process?
Well, I mean, I always have this thing, I just want to make fun the priority in my life. And I love anything that's like silly. And I've always been a very silly guy. I loved, like, even when I was modeling, I felt like it was not silly enough, right? So I have a friend who is a comedian, and shout out to Josh Randall. And I did a show with him. And he sang a song about like, he was doing like some comedy about being in a boy band in Germany. So I talked to him after. I was like, hey, we should be friends, man. And he's like, yeah, I'm casting for American Idol. Can you sing? And I was like, absolutely, Josh.
Absolutely.
So I did an audition actually singing, and it did not go well. And then we're like, let's try something else. And then we came up with this like more of a comedic approach, right? And then I was like, I'm just gonna have this character of like a model that's tired of the modeling industry because I want to be a singer. I don't want to be objectified anymore.
Right.
I want to be taken seriously for my art and my talent.
So you showed up in a Speedo.
Exactly. Hey, So and we did that, and then I did like all the audition. It was in the middle of COVID too.
Oh.
So it was very difficult. I had to do all these Zoom, like so many calls to producers and stuff, and then they just sent me to Ojai, where we filmed at a golf resort. Ojai, yeah.
Oh, because of COVID, probably they can't use like their official studio.
They filmed in San Diego, in LA at the Roosevelt, I think, and in Ojai. So those are the three locations. And for some reason, because I was cast later in the show, so they sent me to Ojai, and it was so funny because I'm from Germany. Okay, maybe you could have noticed by my German accent a little bit. Okay, and
okay.
I have never watched. I didn't grow up with American television. So I saw Ryan Seacrest for the first time, and we were doing an interview. I had no idea who he was.
Oh, really?
I had no idea. And I was like, people were acting so like weird about him. And I was like, he must be a big deal. But I was like, I had no idea who he was. Then I did the audition in a Speedo. And again, at that point, I didn't know if it was going to air. Like, you never know with these things. And I didn't know what was going to happen. Nothing was rehearsed, by the way. Like this show, I know how it's for you on America's Next Top Model, but it was pretty much, everything was real. They didn't tell me what to do. And
Really?
I don't think Katy Perry knew what was coming. Maybe they briefed them for a second, but I never told anybody what I was going to do specifically. So, I just walked up in a Speedo and I sang my song.
Yeah.
I came to the USA with a big dream and a Speedo.
Did you write that?
I did you?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
One of my proudest moments.
Katy Perry loved you.
Yeah,
which was adorable.
Which was surprising. I thought she was going to be thrown off by that.
She was obsessed.
Yeah.
So you guys, for those who haven't seen it, you showed up in an American flag Speedo.
Yeah.
And your socks.
America.
Or something.
Yeah.
And
we have to mention the socks, but America. Yeah.
and did your song, and then you did a walk off with Katy Perry.
Yeah. And again, none of that was planned. It was improvising in the moment.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. None of this was planned. Like, I did my song and I told them about like me being a model and want to be taken seriously as a model, as a singer now. And then, Katy was like, let's have a walk off. And I was like, let's go.
Iconic.
It was really
Katy
fun.
Perry.
It was really fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And again, I had no idea. And I was in there for like, I would say like a solid 30 minutes.
Oh.
But they cut it down to like, there was a lot more stuff I wish was in there, but
like
they
what?
cut it down. I mean, I just I had so many moments where I just like talked back and forth with them, like Lionel Richie and stuff. We talked about my YouTube, and I thought like, oh fuck it, because we talk about YouTube, and he's like, okay, you, I think I've seen you before, and he goes like, oh, you subscribed on YouTube, and I wish they had kept that in, because there would have been a great push for my YouTube channel. Yeah, honestly, it's been so long. I don't remember exactly, because I never had a recording of that, but I just remember being in there for a long time, talking with them back and forth.
Yeah.
But they did a good job. They cut down the, the best moments and
Okay.
yeah.
All right, let's get into your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay. You have 822,000 subscribers.
Oh, you're very up to date. I love that.
That's pretty massive. Yes,
Yeah.
I checked this morning.
Yeah.
Because it probably always freaking changes day after day.
Yeah.
How did you grow to be that big? How many years did it take? What's your strategy?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about
Well,
that.
when I first started YouTube, I actually started probably when I first met you. I remember doing one video in Singapore. It started first from a genuine desire to document my life and to have a memory to look back to. Because I was like, yo, I'm doing this modeling thing right now in Singapore, which is very unique. And I want to look back at like in 10 years and have something to remember this by. So I made like this video just goofing around with my friends during like castings, and I put it on YouTube. And then I did a video, I think it was in New York Fashion Week, and I was like, hey, what really happens at New York Fashion Week castings? It was like this ominous title. And I didn't know about like titles or anything. And I did it really just to have a memory. And then after a couple of weeks, I checked back, and the video had like 70,000 views. And I didn't understand because it didn't even occur to me that this could be like a thing or a career or anything like that. And then people just asked me questions, right? They asked like, hey, Mario, how big are you? That was the number one question I got a lot. It was
how
a lot
big
of
are you?
Yeah, it was a lot of like sexual questions. But then also they asked me like, what's your workout routine? How do you become a model? Mm-hmm. So then I took the questions I naturally got from that community and I made videos about every single one of them. So I made one video like how you get male model six-pack abs, and then I showed like my ab routine, and that video did well. And then people asked me questions about my diet, so I did videos about my diet, right? So like I really followed the community and what they were asking me. And it just took this one initial like video to kind of build and even understand that I had some sort of like community. And I realized there wasn't a lot of content around modeling, especially for men, right? I think there was like more about like, because when we think modeling, we think mainly about the female perspective, because again, women are overpaid, right? They get so much attention. Just want to really drive that point home. So yeah, I had a lot of aspiring models follow me. And I did not realize how many people wanted to become models. Like, and I had such a big fan base in India, which is so interesting. Like all these Indian like guys that were like kind of looking up to me and were like, oh, I want to be a model. So I gave them modeling tips, and that's how it started. And yeah, and then I just shifted so much. I always had this comedic aspiration, and I never knew that I could actually pursue that because I grew up in a small town in Germany. It's called Alpirsbach im Hochschwarzwald. Maybe you've heard of it. And
I saw you do a video.
India just got so scared when she looked at me. She like, oh shit.
I saw you do a video about your hometown with that girl or whatever, and I was like, "What in the world?"
I know.
I don't know if I've ever like actually asked you what city you're from.
Yeah. I mean, I usually don't say that because it's not like people don't know that place generally. But yeah, I didn't even think it was possible to do anything in terms of comedy, because you grew up in a small town. Everybody's an engineer, by the way. Everybody in my hometown works for Mercedes or BMW, and they're engineers, like good German boys. And so it took me a while to actually realize that. And then in the YouTube videos, I started doing more comedy stuff too. So like I did my ab routine, but I did it in like a funny way, right?
Yeah.
And now over the years, it's transitioned more and more into what I'm actually passionate about, which has always been comedy, which took me a long time to actually figure out and erase the upbringing of people telling me you can't do that, Yeah. As a German, you have to be serious, especially Germans. We're not very funny generally, Germans are very serious people. So yeah, I had to like retrain myself and travel a lot and figure out to actually now do comedy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So is comedy something that you are currently monetizing? Are you making money off of it, or is it solely a passion? And do you plan to make it like a career? Yeah.
So right now I was paid. I did a show at the Irvine Improv a couple days ago, and I was paid. I don't know if I can say it, a couple hundred. Like I was paid, all right, but I also spent more on the flights there. So I'm making money with it, but not really. So like comedy is even more difficult than modeling to make money, I feel like.
Yeah, more competitive.
Yeah, and it's just making money with comedy is so difficult. Like you have to get to a level where you can really monetize it. So my goal right now is like I have my YouTube channel, so I'm making money with that, and then I lose money with comedy currently. But I tour all around the world. I have amazing experiences. I'm getting so much better every week, just getting the stage time. So I'm like posting more clips of my comedy on YouTube now, which then I'm very confident, like in 2 years, I'm going to be doing a Netflix special in a Speedo. That's my goal.
2 years.
I mean, maybe not 2 years, but like in 2 years I'll monetize, and then, you know, that's what we're working towards. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. So stand-up comedy is something that's so foreign to me. Do you write out like, I mean, yeah, it's not improv, so it's prepared ahead of time. Where do you find the stuff to talk about? You just talk about your life, or like what?
Yeah.
How do you brainstorm for a show?
Yeah, I mean, really think about what you're passionate about, and that's something also. Like I was very in the beginning, I was leaning towards writing stuff about. Obviously, modeling is an obvious one because it's like very few people have that experience, very unique perspective. But I was very in the beginning because I have my YouTube channel, and like I know what works, you know, and like even like very blue. In the beginning, all comedians do dick jokes because they feel like they need that shock value of something sexual to get a laugh.
Did you learn that, or you just kind of noticed it when you were
studying? I noticed that, and it's honestly like that's what most comedians do in the beginning. They do very like more sexual stuff, and I had some stuff like that. I wrote about like I have my circumcision. I was circumcised at 19 years old, so I wrote about that stuff. But then really I was like, what does really fuel me as a human? And it's a lot about my mother. Like growing up in Germany, having a German mom that never told me she loves me. And once I started writing about that stuff that I'm feeling like very passionate about, I think it just like, it came from my heart, and it's so much more impactful. So I just think about like, what do I talk about? What am I passionate about with my friends? Like I actually have a bit about modeling and women being overpaid in modeling. Like that's a little ironic bit I have because I actually talk about it with friends. So I just like make a list and I have some ideas. Sometimes I talk to you and I go like, okay, this could be funny. So I write down, I have a Notion document with like stand-up comedy ideas. So I have that one. And then once like a couple times a week I go back and I go like, okay, maybe I can write something. And then I just brainstorm and I just riff. You know, I actually have the microphone and I just, in my living room, I just talk stuff out. Yeah. And then, this is a good perspective. Let me write it down. And then I develop the set from there.
So do you plan it out and then you kind of go up there and it might take a turn?
Yeah.
So for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on the audience, like I once did shows in the show in Miami Improv, and it was like a pretty homophobic audience. Okay. And I had like a joke about a gay gym and stuff. And then I like, you know, you kind of have to improvise. And like it was a heckler. He was like, no gay shit here, you know, stop that gay shit. And then, you know, I had to like improvise and like obviously then play into it, and I changed my set based on that kind of, you know.
Yeah. That's scary. It feels like a lot of pressure.
It is, but also there's something so beautiful about I love the not knowing what's going to happen. Like I love that actually, because you can always have, I mean, hecklers, I don't want anybody to heckle anybody, you know, clear message to all the hecklers out there. But you know what? Sometimes the best moment in comedy came from people like shouting something out. Yeah. Because I love these moments being thrown off. I love improv. Right? So I live for the moments when you like kind of thrown off and you have to like in the moment make it work, because that's such a big payoff. And that's great. Like instead of having a rehearsed set, being open to those like things that are thrown at you is amazing. Yeah. So yeah, the sets are prepared. You have jokes that you wrote, but then you have to like have a conversation with the audience.
Okay, gotcha.
It's about connection, yeah.
Yeah, that's that's a feat. You getting into that. I mean, that is major.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I love it. Yeah.
So that's not making you the income that you want right now yet.
Not the business.
But YouTube is.
Yeah.
And okay, so for people who don't know, how do you make money off of YouTube without doing sponsored ads? Because I hardly ever see you like talking about a product.
No. I have done a few, but no, I've done Manscaped or whatever. But So YouTube pays, they run ads. Is this on YouTube also?
This is going to be on YouTube.
Okay, so maybe you're going to be featured in an ad before. You can skip. And if you don't skip it, I think if you watch an ad for like 12 seconds, the YouTube will share the revenue with you. So YouTube makes money by playing ads in front of all these videos. And instead of keeping all the money for themselves, they share it with the creators of the videos. So I mean, to give you some specifics, it depends on your niche, depending how family friendly you are, right? If you talk about finance, you can make a lot more money. Like maybe for 1 million views, I make like maybe $2,000, okay? For like a long form video. So if I get like, if I get 5 million views a month, maybe I make like, I mean, it really depends on the month as well. Like maybe like $5,000, depends, right? A finance person can make like 30,000 with the same amount of views.
Oh, really?
So that's how it works, right? It depends. They serve ads that are in line with your audience. So if you're like a makeup channel, they're gonna probably give you a lot of ads for like females, right? Like women. And for me, it's like it's mainly men. So they get like the the alpha male ads, you know, like BMW, Manscaped, you know,
tractors,
that kind of stuff.
dirt.
Tractors, that's a good one. Yeah. So you see tractor ads on my behalf. I have a big gay audience. I don't know if they're tractor fans.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah, I want to ask you about that. So what percentage of your audience is male? Obviously a lot, right?
It depends. On TikTok, it's like 50-50 because it's more like comedy stuff. But on YouTube and Instagram, 80% men.
80%.
Yeah.
And mostly gay men.
I would assume so. Yeah.
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 So you get asked about your sexuality on social media
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Does that get so annoying?
I mean,
or do
yeah,
you kind of just take it because you...
It's okay. I get it because especially in America, people are so obsessed with that. You
Yeah.
know, Americans love labels. You know, it's very like same with politics, right? Americans love labels. It's like, okay, are you Democrat or are you Republican, right? It helps people understand. In Europe, we're just a little bit more chill about that, I feel like, right? So I get it. Yeah. And I mean, I can answer it. I feel like I don't like the concept of labels in general, right?
Yeah.
And I like women. I have a girlfriend, right? And I feel like I've always felt attracted to women. But then also I feel like there's a component of like attraction to a person. Like I cuddle my best friend and he really opened me up. My best friend is gay. His name is Travis. I had a very public relationship with him on YouTube. And it was so beautiful to feel a love and connection to somebody without having a sexual component.
Where's Travis from?
He's from America.
So was that, do you think he had maybe like feelings for you? Because in America, I feel like we do connect those two things.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
physical
yeah.
touch with,
Yeah.
emotional love or whatever.
Yeah. And I
But
mean,
you do still love each other, but you're
yeah,
friends.
no, we do. And it was very confusing for me because I felt like all the emotions I felt for a girl, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like, I felt the companionship, the love, the care for another person. But like sexually, there was never a thing, right? And I thought that was so new, and I was very thrown off by it in the beginning. But then it was all so beautiful. So then I was like, you know what? Fuck the labels, right? I love this person, and I don't know what that means. We don't have sex, but I love him. But I'm sexually attracted to women. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna do me, and I'm gonna do whatever feels right in the moment. And I'm not gonna care about like cuddling with a guy if that makes me not straight. I don't care about that, you know. So I just do what feels right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what more people should do, you know. Let's care care less about like the labels and just live, you know. Yeah. That's how I feel. But I understand why labels can help you classify people and put them in boxes and helps you understand them. But yeah,
I think your audience kind of gets off on you like toying with that idea. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you playing that up and like still,
sure.
I don't know, hinting at that sort of thing, they just love it.
Yeah,
I mean,
also,
I just see that you still get so many questions about it. I looked at the
Sure.
comments in your videos and I'm like, still, he's been on YouTube for, 7 or 8 years.
I know. And yeah, I also want to like, it's not only that, it's also like, I want to almost send a message to straight guys to be more open, right? To be more open about like showing affection to your male friends. It's not gay. It's just like, you know, I think men don't talk about their emotions enough.
And they don't hug each other. They
Exactly.
don't do anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I think there's something so beautiful between like a female, like for like a female best friend, you know, like two girls. And it's like this really strong bond. They can be vulnerable. They can cuddle. And I think it's so beautiful. And I think men should be allowed to do the same thing. But a lot of men don't even allow themselves to do any of that because they think, oh, it's going to make me gay.
Yeah.
I'm going to not be allowed on my tractor anymore. So, you know.
Tractor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that you make more money on YouTube with a male audience, or do you think you would make more money with a female audience?
It's a very good question. I think a male audience probably.
Because you can sell men the male products, and you are a man.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know how if we think about like an ad run business, I don't know what I would do for women. Honestly, I have no clue. Like the only thing I can think of is I can sell comedy tickets to girls.
Yeah.
And I have a calendar I sell, the Bromance calendar, which I guess mainly gay men and women would be interested in because it's like a lot of photos and Speedos and all that. But no, definitely. I think a male audience, like I have had sponsorships and stuff. I'm like I just don't like interrupting the flow of a YouTube video with an ad read unless it's really integrated. I've done one for Manscaped where I paid these dudes to shave their eyebrows off for $100 in Berlin.
$100?
Yeah. So I paid them $100 and I was like, hey, I'm going to pay $100 to shave your eyebrows. And they let me do it and I used Manscaped as a product and then I plugged it. So it was really funny because I could But otherwise, I'm kind of thrown off by the whole like, no, word to our sponsor. Like, I don't know, you know, maybe on a podcast, but yeah. So I've not done a lot of those, but I think men definitely is. It's a good audience. I think it's
Yeah, I have found that, you know, females who have female audiences are very valuable to brands, because a lot of females who post like hot bikini pics or whatever have men following them, and then it's like, who are you selling to then? You're going to sell watches or whatever to the men? Because
that's so interesting. I never thought of that.
Really?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so
no, that 100%. That makes sense.
A man having male followers is, you know, pretty lucrative. It's good.
Interesting. Well, maybe I should sell more watches or tractors. You know what I mean? Like,
like those.
If any tractor brands, contact at Mario Adrian. Hit me up, okay?
John Deere.
Make it happen.
John Deere tractors.
Can you imagine? That would be a funny integration. Like, it would be so like far away because, you know, very gay friendly content. Like, John Deere.
Let's talk about this. How about your team?
Yeah.
So you still come up with all the content yourself, but you have a videographer, an editor. Like, tell me about your team.
So
and if you pay them or anything like that.
I do pay them. They don't
work. They're not interns.
No, I should get an unpaid intern also.
Unpaid intern.
Again, contacted Mario Adrian. No, I should. I have one of my best friends, Riley. He's my videographer. He's from Seattle actually.
Oh, nice.
And he was my subscriber for a long time. So he actually reached out to me and was like, "Hey, can I help you with stuff?" And I was like, you know, he did some graphic design stuff in the beginning. He helped me with like an online course I had called Male Model Mentor, where I taught people how to become models. And he just like then, you know, became more and more valuable. And then I flew him out for one music video shoot in Miami, and he was a great videographer. I love this energy. And then he moved to LA for me. Yeah.
What? Moved to LA for you? And he
not for a girl. He moved to LA for me.
Yeah,
how
love. Romantic.
Yeah.
So he works for you only. He's
pretty
like
much
your full-time employee.
I mean,
basically.
he's also like a TikTok e-boy. He does his own social media stuff and does his nerd shit. But mainly, he shoots for me. Yeah. So like videography, my podcast. I do a lot of the street interviews now, where I go on the street and I do stuff.
I love those.
Yeah. So that's what I want to do. Also, that's the main thing I want to do. And he helps me film them. Okay. So he's my full-time videographer and also edits a lot of the stuff.
Okay.
But it became so much because I had such a high output at one point. Now I'm kind of going down on YouTube because I have to write stand-up comedy. I'm taking stand-up more seriously this year. So like I went down to like one video a week on YouTube. It was 2 before, which was crazy. That's all I did. Yeah. So we film YouTube videos and he helps me edit them. And we have a flow, right? Like, because I do the first cut, like kind of trim it down, get the storyline of the video, and then he edits it. And then I have somebody else cutting shorts out of that and redistributing to like TikTok. And then I have one person. So basically, currently I have 3 people working for me. Okay. One is my videographer. Then I have one pretty much full-time editor. And then I have one social media assistant who posts for me because I don't like posting on social media. I like social media. I love the creativity, but I don't like opening up an app like Instagram and posting because then I get so distracted. I don't like it. So I have somebody else post for me. So many times, yeah.
Do you personally like scroll on Instagram, scroll on TikTok, or you just aren't on social media really, other than for your work?
I'm really not.
And then you're not even on for your work because you have an assistant.
And honestly, I have such a love-hate relationship, but I feel like the more time I spend on social media, the unhappier I am generally. So I mean, sometimes I will so Saturday is my day when I have a set time Saturday when I check all my socials and I write down the stats and I adjust and I make a plan for the new week. But I'm very disciplined with it and it helped me so much.
Wow.
Like not looking at the stuff every day. Cause like there's no real point, even checking your numbers, like unless you can change it like on YouTube, a thumbnail, like there's no real point except for you get a dopamine hit if it does well, or you get disappointed if it doesn't. But like I want to use that mental space to like work on new stuff as opposed to, you know, so that's really helped me.
Yeah, that's very healthy.
Yeah.
To have that boundary.
Yeah, and I do look at social because that's important to look at it, right? Like I listen to podcasts and stuff about comedy, and I'm in the new Chris Rock special about the Will Smith slap. Like I look at all that stuff, but I have like usually only after 7 is when I can look at social media stuff. Like I watch YouTube. That's the main thing. I don't really scroll on TikTok. TikTok is the app I actually deleted from my phone.
Oh, really? And
I just have somebody post for me because that's the best way. So Instagram I am because I have to like connect with people and people message me. It's like it's almost like a, you know, your personal inbox in a way. Mm-hmm. So I do look at that, but only once a day after 7 p.m. when I'm done with my other work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does that social media intern handle all your DMs, and do you respond to your DMs from people that you don't follow yourself?
I don't look at all the DMs, but she does filter through the DMs, because I'll be honest, a lot of the DMs are just like straight up like dick pics and
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, so many. You
get a lot of weird stuff in there?
I get a lot of weird stuff from there. So many requests for escorting too.
Oh, really?
So many.
Like genuine paid requests.
Yeah. And also, like, I mean, that's something. Maybe if comedy doesn't work out, like, at least I have a fallback plan. Jeez, because there's so many. So she filters through all the requests and she sends me the ones that are legit. Because sometimes, like, a comedy club will reach out to me, or a brand, or something like that, or somebody for a podcast, or whatever it is, right? So, like, she filters through all that stuff.
Okay.
And then,
So the poor girl has to see all your crazy
That's what I mean.
pictures and whatever else. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That's one thing with my page. I have all women follow me. It's like 85% or something. And I do not get any weird DMs, not from men, not from women. I don't get any of that stuff. And I can't, I mean, it's good, I guess, for your business to keep people interested and all that, but it must just be overwhelming when you had to go through all those yourself. Yeah. And like filter through, is this a serious one? Do they actually need something? Or are they trying to work with me?
This image has been blurred to protect you from sensitive content. And you got to click and it's like, another one. God. Just hire a gay guy to go through my DMs, at least.
At least you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Maybe she enjoys it too.
I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
Who knows? Your intern at work. Oh my God. No, not intern. Your assistant.
This is, I pay her. Again, for the record, I pay her.
Yes, you have 3 employees. Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah, like freelance. One is like, full time, but yeah.
Okay, so you just mentioned that you might take up escorting. and I've seen you talk about in videos you joke about becoming a porn star.
Yeah.
Is that ever something you would genuinely consider?
So I honestly don't think I have what it takes. Listen, I have so many friends that are porn stars, and I've had so many people on my podcast who are porn stars. And I did a video experiment once, because so many people also always on YouTube are always commenting. Even in the beginning, they were like, Mario, you complain about not making enough money as a model. Why don't you just do porn? Turns out porn is also not as well paid as people think. But I did a documentary based on that. I was like, okay, I love these like crazy, it's almost like a mockumentary I did where I try to become a porn star. Like I wasn't going to do it, but I did this video experiment. It was one of the most fun projects I've ever done. I actually applied to porn agencies and I went to a casting call and a test shoot with an undercover camera and everything. And they actually like confirmed me for my first 2 scenes I could shoot in San Diego. One was going to be a solo scene, and one was going to be a gay for pay, scene with another dude.
Gay for pay.
Gay for pay, yeah.
Is that like a category that
it's a category, yeah.
Okay.
So gay for pay meaning straight guys doing gay porn.
Oh wow, interesting.
So what do you think? Okay, I have a guess. What do you think the rates would be for your first shoot for a solo scene, and how much it would be for a gay scene with one more guy?
Okay. I also know that they're severely underpaid, so I'm going to keep that in mind, and I'm going to say for a solo, they'll give you $500.
Okay.
And for a couples, they'll give you $1,000.
Okay, it's actually not too far off. A little lower. $300 for the solo, $750 for the gay for pay one.
Okay.
Which is wild.
Yeah, to put yourself out there like that and then make $500.
Exactly. And it's a lot, right? Especially for the because there's a lot of like prepping and stuff. Anyways, I just knew that I couldn't do it, so I finished a documentary with a mock casting.
So you had plans to follow through?
No, I didn't have. Okay, so I always knew that. I knew that I could not, because I do respect porn stars a lot because it is a skill set.
Yeah.
Like being able to perform sexually, I'm not that person. Like I have to have a connection with somebody, and it's really difficult to do that on a set when there's 4 people, director, everybody's looking at you, and you have to stay erect and all these things, and the timing has to be perfect. And I was I respect that. I don't think I have what it takes in that sense.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah, no. And besides from that, it's also not where I want to take my career, But again, I respect all porn stars because I've seen we have a lot of judgment around sex workers and porn stars, and I've met so many of these people in real life, and I've had them on my podcast. They're some of the sweetest people you would ever meet, and it's so crazy to see how your public image and your online persona can deviate so much from who you really are.
Yeah.
So that's really taught me a lot about that. And a lot of them do it like this one guy I talked to, Malik Dalgadi, he talked about it on my podcast. He was like, I come from a lot of poverty, and I do this to support my family, and every single cent I make is like going back to them and all this. And it's like, there's so many layers. So yeah, for some people that's, yeah.
Does he make a decent amount? Like
the ones that
you've talked to?
Yeah. So, I mean, especially if they have OnlyFans, that's usually how they make more money.
Yeah. So the part that I don't understand is anybody these days can go online and type in, phub.com and watch free videos. Yeah. So I'm wondering, if you don't have an OnlyFans, how do you make money? All of them have OnlyFans now, but OnlyFans has only been around for 2 years.
Exactly.
So how do porn stars actually make money these days?
Yeah. So there's studio porn, which is the professional stuff, and it's almost like, I would almost say like, it legitimizes you as a performer. It's almost like it gives you clout, and it's like doing a Netflix show versus like having your YouTube stuff. YouTube makes more money probably than a lot of Netflix stuff, but it gives you that like, it legitimizes you as a performer. Because
there's a cameraman and a makeup artist and like all this big crew.
Yeah. Makeup artist. Yeah, I guess so.
I know a porn makeup artist. Okay. Yeah, that's an industry too.
Yeah. Okay, well, I feel that. So yeah, they make money with that, but then it's more to promote their own OnlyFans. So if you're on a scene on a studio, because you have the audience, if you're on Pornhub and you have a scene out there from a big studio, people will then look you up. What I'd never fully understood, and it's still like an enigma to me, is like, if you've seen this person be very explicit online, like what's the incentive to following them on OnlyFans? But I think it's the need for this like more home, like almost amateur content and a more personal connection to the person.
I think it's a lot about the personal connection and the DMs, or I don't know if they call them DMs, but I think so, private messages and private requests. It's DMs. Like, as you said, creating that one-on-one bond with your viewers.
Yeah.
So you have an OnlyFans?
Yeah.
And what sort of content do you post on there?
Well, I just had so much stuff taken out on Instagram, and I used to post modeling photos on Instagram, and it was really like also like sexy underwear stuff, and I was still getting booked for modeling jobs. But then the more I got into stand-up comedy, I was like, what's the incentive of me posting those photos? Because they get a lot of likes and stuff, but it's not really serving where I want to go currently. Mm-hmm. So now I like post all the modeling stuff. I'm very proud of. I love so many of the photos I took, and I took some like also nudes, implied nudes for like magazines, which I thought were beautiful, but I just don't have a place to post them. So I still want to like share that side of me, and that's what OnlyFans is for. So that's more of the explicit stuff, more of my modeling photos that I don't currently want to post on my main Instagram, because bookers get so confused. It's hilarious. Like I've gone to stand-up comedy shows, and they're so confused when they look at my profile, and they're like, it's a comedy clip, and then it's like me in a Speedo. And it's like
wide variety.
That's why I'm trying to combine it. That's why American Idol was perfect, because it blended the two worlds of like, I was in a Speedo, it comes from modeling, but then I did a full improv comedy act basically on television.
Exactly.
Which was like the comedic side. So I'm always going to have the modeling, but I'm kind of rebranding more towards the comedy side of things. Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, that's nice. You have that place where you can post that type of content and then also get compensated for it, because you are showing a bit more of yourself, and it's probably frustrating to post that on Instagram, and it's just the same as any other post.
And it's getting taken down also a lot of the times. Like my TikTok, I had 2 TikToks deleted, and one was deleted because
TikTok's
posted
even tougher with that stuff.
TikTok is weird, yeah. And also some people say TikTok is a little sexist too, because my TikTok was deleted for wearing a Speedo on American Idol.
Oh, from TikTok?
Yeah.
Which was on TV anyway.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It was on American Idol. It's such a family-friendly show. And yeah, meanwhile I see a lot of girls, But again, there's always, it depends. I also see a lot of guys, and they get away with it. But yeah, no, TikTok deleted a lot of stuff, and then I was like, you know what? This is not worth it. It's not good for my mental health. Having stuff taken down, opening an app, and every single time, like I had so much stuff taken down to the point where I was like, I had anxiety when I opened an app. I was like, and it was loading, like the symbol was buffering for like 3 seconds. I was like, oh no, because then usually when it comes to like your account has been disabled, you've been logged out, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you don't even try to post it on TikTok anymore. You just post it on your
I don't want to
OnlyFans.
risk it just for my like peace of mind. It's just not worth it. Like the stress that comes from having these accounts deleted that I put so much work into. Like it's 2 TikToks are gone. Now it's my 3rd TikTok, and now I'm like, really careful. And even then I'm like, I'm posting podcast clips and, or I mean, I posted this thing with my dad where I did like this compilation of like my dad holding me now, like 30 years later, and then cutting back to a photo of me as a child when he was holding me. The most wholesome thing ever.
Yeah.
But it was taken down for minor safety and child whatever, because I was in a towel as a kid. Like I was 1 year old. You know what I mean? So like even then it's like, you know, stuff gets taken down. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So how many subscribers do you have on OnlyFans?
On my free one or on my paid one?
Oh, so there's two separate accounts?
Yeah, so that's actually a new thing now. So I have, there's a thing called OnlyFans TV. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
Okay, OnlyFans TV is OnlyFans, they want to brand themselves as a family-friendly network.
Yes.
Right? I mean, they almost banned sexual content like 2 years ago.
They did for like a week,
they did for a week,
and they changed their mind.
Yeah, because everybody lost their minds, right? So there is a thing called OnlyFans TV where we can post stuff that's all safe for work. So there's like dating shows, and I have a connection with them. So they told me I can post repurposed clips of my YouTube, you know? So I post like street interviews, podcast clips on my own OFTV channel. And that channel gets promoted to people who use OFTV, gets featured, kind of like on an explore page. And there's not too many people out there. So I get like new audience find me there, and it links straight to my actual OnlyFans profile. Okay. And that's the free one. So that's like OnlyFans almost trying to, it's interesting because they don't have ads, and that's the cool thing. So like you find new creators, you find these shows, it's like actual dating shows, a lot of original content too. Like OnlyFans TV, they put money into producing content like dating shows with OnlyFans creators, which almost builds this like, they almost want to build another YouTube where every YouTuber also has their own private YouTube page that you pay for and you subscribe. That way because OnlyFans makes more money if more people find you, right? They have your best interest in mind. So that's like their attempt in becoming more family friendly. Yeah. So I have a free OnlyFans that I just started. So I gained like 1,000 followers on that one. And then my paid one, it's like, it fluctuates. I mean, it was anywhere between like, at the height of everything, I had like 6,000. Yeah. But that was,
that's really good for.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Now it's not that. Like maybe 1.5K, something like that.
And do you promote that through your other social media, or it's just organic growth on OnlyFans?
I stopped promoting it because OnlyFans, even no matter what you do on OnlyFans, whether you do porn or you post photos of you teaching guitar lessons, if you mention OnlyFans on Instagram, it will get taken down.
Oh wow!
It's really hard, and even on YouTube stuff, like videos have been taken down where I feature my OnlyFans. And I just don't mention it, except for on this podcast.
Yeah. Here we are.
So guys, go find me. No, I just feel like at the end of the day, like when like people know it and that they'll find you, it's just not worth it. Again, I could make more money if I pushed it hard, but then again, the anxiety of having stuff taken down, it's just not worth it. And
if, as you said, if people want to find you, they'll type in Mario Adrian OnlyFans.
I'm sure people have Googled your name and that they want to find out, like, you know, they'll find you. So like it's yeah.
Okay, two things I want to talk about branching off of that. One, do you believe that OnlyFans is going to become like an Instagram, like another just social platform that everybody has to have? And the reason I asked that is because you said that they have just their regular like TV channel and it's like a regular scroll. I've also been reached out to from OnlyFans, they said we're rebranding, we're becoming more family friendly. It's basically just a paid Instagram platform. You can post all your usual stuff. So do you think that it'll become a regular social media platform?
I mean, that's what they want to do, but I just feel like the name is it has so much weight. People understand it for what it is and for having more explicit content. I just don't think it'll become, because they want to become Patreon essentially. Yeah. What Patreon is right now. Do you have a Patreon? I don't have a Patreon, no. Because Patreon is again, the reason I don't have Patreon is because Patreon does not have the same pull as OnlyFans. People don't understand. It's not as widely used. And there's something about sex sells. It's just a fact. And even no matter what you do on OnlyFans, there's always people who are going to subscribe just to see if you do sexual content. And I don't think if that's going to go away, maybe a long term OnlyFans can become that. But I think it's so ingrained in our culture now. Yeah. You're an OnlyFans girl. Like, we have an understanding of what that means, right? And I think they're just making too much money with that. And I mean, they almost did like move away from it, but I think there's so much money that it's unbelievable. Like, men can make a lot of money. I mean, I experienced myself, my friends, but women, again,
Really honing in on that.
No, I mean, women do make a lot more money on OnlyFans, and it's just, if there's so much profit involved, I don't think it'll go away. And what sells on OnlyFans is the expectation of it being sexual content.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try, and I think there's going to be a percentage of people who use it as a Patreon, but I think the bulk of their revenue realistically is going to come from that and the more sexual content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did I ask you, do you get direct DMs on OnlyFans, and do you address those?
Yeah.
You do. You respond to all those.
OnlyFans. Yeah.
And do people ask you for private videos or whatever, specific videos? And do you do those?
No, not really. I mean, I can tell you one funny story.
Okay.
It sounds a little weird, but I got this message on OnlyFans, and again, I'm not going to mention the person, but it was hilarious. This person reached out to me, and they were like, okay, in a world of unusual fetishes, mine is pretty high up there. And I was hooked. I was like, okay, this is a great first line. Let's keep for this. Let's see where this is going. And he said, like, okay, I like to see hot guys getting pied in the face.
And he, like, in a sexual way, he enjoys that?
I guess so. But like we were pied in a pie way. We're not pied in a sexual way. It was just like in a really like, in an apple pie kind of way. And I filmed a private video with my friend Jeff, and we pied each other in the face multiple times, multiple pies, and there was a specific rate for I can't disclose the rate because I promised that person, but the amount of pies, the distance from where it was thrown, the body part on which we were pied, like it was very specific instructions, and we got paid, and it was hilarious, and I'm very grateful for that person. So shout out, thank you. Yeah.
So you don't have to disclose the exact amount, but would you say like a decent amount of money? Yeah. More than you make on a day on set for modeling?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Yeah. This person really wanted to see some pie get thrown. I love that.
Yeah, and also paid for supplies.
Exactly.
Was clarified. Also, I will cover the cost of supplies. The cleaning was actually more intense than I thought it would be, because I didn't anticipate that the pie would just like spread everywhere, But it did? I'm not a scientist. It did, yeah.
Oh, dang.
It did, yeah.
Wow.
But so that's what I do. But I don't do any other stuff, because again, most of the stuff is super sexual, which I don't do.
Yeah.
So then, but hey, if anyone's pay me for some pie.
If the rate's
some American
right.
pie action.
If the rate's right, you're down?
For pie, yeah,
But nothing too sexual.
I mean, depending on let's be real. At some point, there is a price tag. At some point, I'll be honest, but I have to be, have to think about it.
If it was some whopping number, you would consider doing something, more out of your comfort zone.
It really depends what it is specifically too, See, again, I don't feel it probably not right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I don't know. I'm not very money driven. I never was. I grew up not with a lot of money. Like, I grew up very like lower middle class in Germany. My dad's a chimney sweeper. Okay. So I just don't have that drive. Like, if I was really desperate and I had like maybe if I was a single mom and I had like a dream and I had a house to pay off and I would have somebody would be like, okay, here's $5 million. I'd be like, no, why not? But right now I feel good. I can do whatever I want, can travel.
You kind of have a brand to keep protected as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the deal with your feet pics that have gone viral?
Oh, yeah.
What's the story there?
I mean, apparently I have very, very nice feet, apparently, according to a website called malecelebrityfeet.com. Have you heard of that?
I hadn't until I saw that video of yours.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the world?
I know.
There's a site for everything.
I know. It's called, it's actually WikiFeet, man. I'm confused about the URL. But anyways, it is like a Wikipedia with every single celebrity you can find, or a social media person, right? I think it's only for men. I don't know. But if you were a guy, you'd be on there for sure, right? So you can look up Chris Hemsworth feet. And these people, like, they find shots from every single appearance Chris Hemsworth's feet have been in. Like, they find the Thor movie. I'm sure there's a photo of his feet in the Thor movie, I guess. And they screenshot it and upload it. And then people can rate the feet. And
they rate them?
They rate them, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And I don't want to brag, but Mario Adrian currently has a 5.3 out of 5 star rating on malecelebrityfeet.com.
5.3 out of 5. How is that possible?
I don't know. The rating system is kind of flawed. I don't get it.
Who rated a 6?
See, I don't know. I didn't know it's possible. But just like, I have screenshots. It's and it's one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. Modeling didn't work out. Modeling did not work out as I intended it to. But the feet pics, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
We're nearing our end here, but I want to know about pretty privilege from a male's perspective.
Yeah.
Do you find that you get pretty privilege from people, and do you ever feel that you're treated negatively because of your appearance?
Yeah, I think it's very real, 100%. I think anybody who says that it's not is like, you know, just lying. It's very real. Like in any scenario, if you're good looking, I got so many opportunities because of looks, right? Like whether it's with people want to work with you, people also, you know, whether it's in like even I did some acting, right? And like if you look a certain way, obviously it sells better as an actor, or even people want to work with you, even in business. Maybe, you know, if they're slightly attracted to you, it's just a thing that's real. And there's a halo effect also in psychology where like people think, and it's very counterintuitive to what you'd think, because people think models are dumb and all that. But like psychologically, there's been because I studied psychology for a bit, there's a halo effect, which means that if you have one positive attribute, people assume other positive attributes about you. So if you're good looking, they think you are more reliable. They think you're maybe more intelligent, you know? So overall, it kind of creates this illusion, you know, which may or may not be true. So that's definitely true. I will say, though, that in stand-up comedy, being good looking is not an advantage.
It might be a disadvantage.
It might be
People love looking at a funny-looking guy on stage or whatever.
And the respect, so what I have to battle a lot when I go on stage, and I feel it, and it's actually, I don't mind it, though, because it's a good challenge, because I believe in my comedic abilities so much that I really think it doesn't matter at the end of the day, but I have to combat that. Like when I go on stage, I feel the judgment from people. They go like, Mario, don't you get enough attention already? Like, why are you doing stand-up comedy? You know, they have assumptions about me. So I have to do even more, I have to be even more self-deprecating on stage, make more fun of myself, to be relatable. Which a person that's like, maybe like one of my best friends is Adam Fink. He's a great comedian. He's short, and that's his thing, right? People want to be on his side. People don't want to be on my side necessarily. So that's something you have to, in stand-up comedy, which is also run by straight men, which is not my audience, you know what I mean, right now. So it's a little different. So you have to, yeah.
Do you find that straight men are like intimidated by
I think
your
that's part
appearance?
of it. Yeah, that's part of it for sure.
And height?
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, they don't want to like me in the beginning, you know. So that's something that's very real. But again, I would always choose that. I'm not complaining at all.
Yes, but I just like to talk about it because obviously there are a ton of positives.
Yeah.
You know, I get some pretty sick discounts when I take my car in for oil or something, you know. But there are negatives too, so I just like to address both of them.
And I don't like comments like my friend Travis. He was struggling with depression a lot, and he's a very good-looking guy. So like, I hate it when I saw comments like, what are you complaining about? You're so hot.
Yeah.
And it's like, so doesn't have anything to do with that. And that's the one thing where it's like, that bothers me, you know? Oh, but you're so good looking. Like, what are you even, you know, complain about? So that's something that, it's like a pretty, what's the opposite of privilege? Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a curse and a blessing at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that rolls right into the last question, which is the question that I leave every episode on. And that is, what portion of your success do you attribute to genetics, good luck, just being born looking the way you are?
Yeah.
And what portion do you attribute to hard work, dedication, drive?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I love that question. Damn. You know what? The success, the current, whatever, I don't want to call it success, but like what I'm doing currently, I mean, it has so much to do with looks and genetics, right? I would say 30-70. I would say 30 looks though.
30 looks, 70 hard work.
Yeah, because I've seen it so many times. Like I've seen it with comedians. Anybody who is successful and who builds something, they have one thing in common, which is they have a follow through. And even if you're the best looking person in the world, like you have to have that follow through, and you have to just be relentless. And I truly think that's not, like, I was going to be an engineer in Germany, and I always had this, was always very ambitious and very hard work. And I really do believe that hard work beats talent, because I see so many talented people in comedy. I've seen comedians who are incredible. Like, honestly, I've seen some, especially black comedians, that are like way better than Kevin Hart. But Kevin Hart is good at branding, and he's hardworking, right? And a lot of creatives are just like, they have the talent, right? And it's beautiful, but if it doesn't have direction, then it's not, going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I see comedians, especially my best friend Zhao Ying Summer. She's a great comedian. She's so hardworking. She's a single mom. She works her ass off, and it's just relentless. And she's great looking. And I think it's a condition you have to you need both, right? Obviously, but I truly think hard work beats talent. Yeah.
So do you, just branching off of that, do you think that you would be doing this like freelance lifestyle, YouTube, comedy, all this stuff if you hadn't initially been a model?
Mm-hmm, I think so.
You think you would still have done it? Yeah.
I think so. Because when I was 6 years old, I watched comedians in Germany and I was like, oh, I could do this. But then again, I couldn't because I grew up in Germany. There was no theater program. There was no example to look up to of somebody who's done the same thing. I had this path in front of me I did well in school. I was like, you have to be an engineer. You have to do this. So it took me to go through modeling. But even before I did modeling, I wanted to make YouTube videos. And I made a video. My first YouTube video, actually to this day, is called Indische Linsensuppe. It's called an Indian lentil. I was vegan at the time, and I made a recipe on YouTube in German. It's hilarious. You can watch my first video about how to make Indian lentil curry. So I had this creative output that I always had, and it was about food back then. So I think
that's
no
still
matter
on your channel.
It's the first video on my channel. It's a German video,
how
to make Indian lentil curry. So I think no matter if it had been through modeling, I think I would have always found back to comedy in some way. And I'm glad it worked out the way it did,
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. So tell everyone where they can find you on social media and where they can watch your comedy, whatever else.
Okay, amazing.
Shout yourself out.
Mario Adrian on all platforms. Except for TikTok, because I was banned 3 times. So it's the Mario Adrian.
And that's ADRION.
ION. You're right. Yeah. And marioadrian.com/comedy for comedy dates. I'm coming to a city near you. I'm actually going to Seattle too.
Oh, nice.
Seattle, Chicago, Washington, D.C. Yeah. All in April.
Amazing.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. That was fun.
Signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye.